we're going to open it up for Q&A. I am not named Michael, so I don't even know how I got up to be on this stage today. But as they all aptly said, it's an honor to always be here. I've come to this for many years. I have many friends here, and those of you who have come for your first time or second time, I hope you enjoyed it and will come back, because every year there's something new to learn, challenging your thought processes and stuff. I'll open up. Are there any immediate questions pending from the group?
Mark, maybe you want to toss a question out, Mark.
Well, I think I'm going to do that. I think for me the value that we've heard here is the rigor of analysis, even on old systems. That I would ask, what recommendations would you give for? We heard about a lot of new stuff today. I mean, we've gone from 5G to the PSTN being turned off in 5 to 10 years. Twisted pair copper. Yeah. See you later. So, what would this panel offer? About maybe 1 point each of things that we should on the new stuff be aware of and try to make sure that we have one.
I do have another question in the audience.
Oh, we do. All right, well, let's finish that question and we'll take it from the audience. So, please be brief.
I'll try to be brief. I think it's, I had done some work with Fort Monmouth, and they introduced a concept, which I think the phone company was really total cost of ownership. Really looking at the entire life cycle of the product and looking at the spares and maintainability. When you buy a system, that upfront cost really isn't the biggest determinant on the total cost. It's the maintenance, both the hardware and the software, it's the sparing, it's the repairs that really drive the total cost. So the more that you put into testing how the reliability system, it's going to save you money in the long run. And typically people deal in business cycles or procurement cycles are 1 or 2 years. I think Mike mentioned, or somebody mentioned that for NFV-SDN, I think it was Sean on first day, he said he's got a 5-year plan, but he's only allowed to have a 2-year business case. But you really got to look at things over the life cycle, and that could be 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years, because that's how long things are on the network. So, okay. Is that going to be done? I doubt it. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Bola?
So my one recommendation for new systems is design for reliability, and realize that the old predictive methodologies have limitations. Software is typically not included in those predictive methodologies, and it's become extremely important. Some of our systems now, we see 90% of our failure modes are actually software related. So that is an extremely important part. So if you do a handbook calculation, you may not be getting what you think you're getting. Thank you.
And maybe the key there is make sure you can actually patch whatever system you have simply versus it being embedded or some simple way of doing that, so you can continue that in the future, right?
Correct, and try to get as robust as you can without gold plating it. But
yes,
you don't have to necessarily gold plate something to make it robust. And the 2-screw example is kind of an example of that.
Mr. Plum?
Yeah, so I would say that the easiest thing is collaboration and sharing data between all the parties, between the manufacturers, design engineers, your technicians, and your repair vendors. Should be sharing data and collaborating and trying to figure out how to drive reliability.
Yeah, I mean, initially we designed to make it work. We're all excited about 5G, what the radios look like, and then how do you maintain that stuff on a pole? When you have thousands of poles, right, how is that going to be maintained? Well, really millions is what we're like. So, question from the audience.
So yeah, we've got this final question here from John. Sorry, Kirk.
Is it for Mike?
Oh, okay.
It's for Mike.
Yeah, you specifically say Mike.
Well, I guess it's for anyone. So I'm trying to reconcile the different dynamics that are at play here. Now, we focused in on the end device, okay, but like, for example, we found out when we rolled out Sonnet, we had built in all this resiliency and reliability into the Sonnet technology, which was more reliable than the operations network that was managing the Sonnet rinks. So operations was out of sync with things they were monitoring. Okay, so now we talk about all this virtualization. We also talk about we want more automation to predict failures, okay, in this operations environment. So are we getting more out of whack here between the operations, I'll call it domain, and the end devices that we're monitoring, you know, in terms of from a reliability standpoint? Because as you said, it's more virtualization, it's more software, you know, more automation trying to be, you know, into that. And as I said, we were kind of getting out of whack. We put a lot of emphasis on the end devices and how to improve the reliability of them. But can they operate when the operation network isn't that reliable?
Chris, I think you should answer that question.
I'll take a shot at it, I guess. So, I think the answer,
Closer to the.
yeah, sure. I think the answer,
Closer to the mic.
I think the answer for sure is they have to be in sync for it to work. If the network's operation people don't understand the failure modes or what's going to happen, then they can't react to when they do happen. So that would be my shot at that answer.
Martin?
Yeah, I would say.
You live this stuff.
Yeah, I live it every day. In fact, I stepped out twice for our knock to call me for some, and today's been power-related alarms at a rectifier failure. They have to be in sync, and if it's not there, we have to get to that gap. We have to make it automated so we don't spend our time just collecting data. I mean, I think the takeaway for me out of this panel and that Chris aptly led and coordinated from all of you is we shouldn't be surprised. There's data out there for us to do the analysis. We should know what our design requirements are. Does it need to be, is it a 3-9 system that we need to be geo-redundant or something? We have to know that up front, and if our requirements change, we have to be aware of that. We can't be surprised by it, especially an operations guy. Like the no troll font, I never want to see the card again.
Yeah.
I may get rid of it, or I just send back, you keep it, man. You can use it for spare parts, but it's still, stuff will fail. And I think, as you said, it's something we have to be aware of, and how do we maintain that? But as we operate it, and some of you are engineering, some of your performance or your design planning, ultimately there's some operations or assurance guy that's got to maintain that. And as operations, I can't be surprised. I have to know once this is going to make sure I have spare parts, especially as aging networks go, and it won't be shut off. I agree with you. T-Mobile got a fine of $17 million on 911.
Yeah.
We probably need to bring the 911 folks back to this workshop and talk about where that's at, because that's a very real issue of rural America and what's going on with that communications, and that's why those networks are in part not going to go away. So.
SS7's gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah, although I found out it's not secure, we can hack bank
Yeah.
accounts. Yeah, that's been a trusted, if you talk SS7, you're trusted, so, anyway. That's what I would say, John. I think you gotta bridge it, but that would be my takeaways from what I heard from all the speakers today. It was an excellent session.
Thank you to the M&M panel up here.
Yeah, for Chris, thank you, Chris, it was awesome.
Chris, thank you very much. Mike. Thank you. Scott, would you like to come up?